Everyone, this is Modula and Podrick, and we will be informing you all about what is going on in the digital world.
Welcome to the future humans. Let's start.
You know that feeling, right? That restless itch where you just can't sit still and think. Well, you're definitely not alone. Today we're going to dive deep into this thing that people have started calling brain rot.
So, let me hit you with a pretty wild fact right off the bat. Statistically, only about 15% of you listening right now will actually make it to the end of this explainer. I know, right? Most folks, they're going to get pulled away by notification, a new tab, some other shiny little dopamine hit. And honestly, that right there, that is the entire point. So what gives? Why is our attention so fragile? Why is it so easy to break our focus? I want to be really clear about this. It's not some personal failing on your part. Nope. There is something much, much bigger going on here.
Okay, let's start with the diagnosis. Let's call it what it is. If you've ever tried to watch a movie lately, or maybe pick up a book, and found you just can't, or even just tried to let your mind wander without instinctively reaching for your phone, that feeling is 100% real. What you're experiencing is a massive rewiring of your brain, and it's happening on a scale we've never seen before in human history.
And the term that's catching on for this is brain rot. Now, that sounds dramatic, but listen, it's not about being less intelligent. It's about a fundamental shift in how we're processing information. It's like we're training ourselves to just skip along the surface of everything, like a stone on water, and we're losing that ability to really dive deep and understand things.
So, to really get how we ended up here, we've got to look at the original virus, if you will, the attention economy. The whole key is figuring out how our ancient, hunter-gatherer brains are trying to cope with this totally modern digital world.
And this, right here, just lays it all out perfectly. Think about it. Our brains are wired to give us a little hit of dopamine, that feel-good chemical, for things that helped us survive. Finding berries, spotting a threat, super important stuff. But today, that exact same ancient wiring is being hijacked, triggered nonstop by every like, every notification, every swipe. Our brain literally can't tell the difference, so we get stuck in this relentless loop of just seeking the next tiny reward.
And what's really crazy is just how fast this all happened. I mean, our brain's ability to change, neuroplasticity, that's a process that used to unfold over generations. But then came 2007 and the smartphone, then the 2010s and social media. And suddenly, that whole process went into hyperdrive. In barely more than a decade, we basically trained our own brains to crave constant, new, bite-sized information.
Way back in the 1960s, this thinker, Marshall McLuhan, he had this famous line, "The medium is the message." And what he meant was that the way we get our information shapes our thinking even more than the information itself. And man, was he right. Today, our medium is the infinite scroll. It's the 15-second video. So the real message our brain is getting isn't about the dance or the news clip, it's that we should expect a reward, instantly, all the time.
And that idea is more important now than ever before. Because if the last decade was all about the infinite scroll capturing our attention, well, a new, even more powerful medium is showing up. The fight is shifting. They're not just after our attention anymore. Now, they're after our thought.
Okay, so let's talk about the new variant in this whole equation, the AI accelerant. See, generative AI isn't just another thing to get distracted by. No, it's something different. It's a tool that basically encourages us to offload the heavy lifting, the hard work of actually thinking something through, solving a problem, or heck, even making a simple choice.
Check this out. I saw this post from a user when ChatGPT went down for a bit. They wanted to bake a cake, and they said they felt paralyzed. Their first instinct wasn't, "I'll Google a recipe." It was, "I need my AI best friend to give me a step-by-step breakdown." It just shows how quickly we're becoming dependent on this stuff for everything.
And okay, it gets even more alarming. This quote is from a story where someone was shown facts from NASA's official website, mind you, and their response was to ask ChatGPT if NASA was telling the truth. Think about that for a second. We're starting to trust a robot summary over the actual primary expert source.
And this crutch is popping up everywhere. We've got students turning in essays they haven't even bothered to read, people getting their visa info wrong and messing up travel plans. We've got hikers needing to be rescued because they followed AI trail advice. It's even getting to the point where people are uploading their entire wardrobe just to have an AI tell them what to wear.
And it's not just stories. The science is starting to roll in. A study from Wharton found we actually remember less when one of these big AI models just spits out an answer for us.
Another one from MIT found that people who rely on them have weaker brain connectivity and can't recall what they've written as well. Even research from Microsoft is hinting that overusing these tools could lead to a drop in our critical thinking skills. So this leads to a really dangerous paradox, right? Because when you use AI, you feel powerful. You feel smarter, faster, more efficient. It feels like a total level up. But the science seems to be suggesting that by outsourcing all that thinking, we might actually be, well, making ourselves shallower thinkers.
So is that it? Are we all doomed to become shallow thinkers? No, absolutely not. Here's the good news. That same neuroplasticity, that amazing ability of our brain to rewire itself, it works both ways. Just like we trained it for distraction, we can absolutely retrain it for focus. Think of it like a muscle you haven't used in a while. It's going to be tough at first, but you can for sure build it back up.
All right, so here's a practical 4-step toolkit to get you started. Number 1, progressive overload. You wouldn't try to bench press 300 pounds on your first day, right? Same idea. Don't try to read a whole book. Start with 5 minutes of focused reading. Then 10. Build that mental muscle. 2. Design your environment. Make focus the easy choice. The simplest way? Put your phone in another room when you're working. Seriously, it's a game changer. 3. Dopamine rebalancing. You need to let your brain reset. Intentionally schedule time for, well, for nothing. No phone, no TV, no podcasts. Just be bored for a few minutes. It's so good for you. And finally, number 4, mindful consumption. After you read or watch something, just stop for a second and ask yourself, okay, what did I actually learn here? How does this connect to other stuff I know?
And look, this is about so much more than just getting your work done. The really big problems we're facing, climate change, the economy, all the division, solving those things takes deep, sustained, critical thought. You just can't fix that stuff with a flurry of half-read headlines and angry tweets. So, remember that number I threw at you at the very beginning? Well, if you're hearing my voice right now, you made it. You're part of that 15%. You literally just proved, right here, that it's possible to resist that constant pull for something new. Deep focus isn't gone. You've still got it.
So I'll leave you with this one last question to chew on. In a world where AI is getting better and better at spitting out answers and creating content, could it be that our ability to just sit, to think deeply, to truly focus, is that the last real human advantage we have left?